to another episode on Atlanta Brick Co. TV. We have another Minifigure Battles episode coming up for you guys. Yay!
Oh yeah.
We have 3 very skilled builders. You should know all of them. However, I think this is Steven's first time
ever
being on Minifigure Battles, so that's fun. So yeah, that's Steven on the end.
But you guys used to do it.
I've done it.
Yeah,
twice.
we've both built minifigures in this kind of format.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven has done this before on our social media, on his Instagram. But yeah, so Steven, Joe, Angie, both Joe and Angie. I think Angie's won and Joe's gotten like very close a few times. Should have won. Yeah, I mean.
So what you're saying is there's only one Lego winner here.
In Minifigure Battle, exactly.
Wow,
so far,
already.
No, I'm not. I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed because I will lose soundly on this.
Absolutely not. No. This is why it's a small scale of minifigures. We're just gonna do a solo minifigure today, and that
just
way,
one, not 2. I had to do 2.
That's just one. We're gonna keep it simple, and so yeah. We're before we get too far though, I want to talk about that Will S. did win the Western Challenge pretty soundly. Grant did good too. Michael did not do so good. No. That's fine. He's accepted that. And
Will S. did the Western with the Star Wars thing?
No. It was just Western.
It was classical
I thought it was a Star Wars movie.
No, it actually
Star Wars,
it looked awesome.
It
was
very clean, very nice.
It was his first time doing freeform.
I donated the fire pit for him, so
There you go. Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen those builds, you should probably go back and watch them to get an idea of what's going to happen. But yeah, so the theme for this week is animal minifigures. And what I mean by that is it's a human shape, but it's an animal. Think Zootopia, Chima,
so
or the old 70s Robin Hood.
Favorite CMF thing.
Here's the thing. If I see a normal minifig face peeking out from a mask, this doesn't count.
So it's an actual animal.
It has to be an animal. It has to be some sort of animal head. There's a couple options for you. Not a lot. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, that is hard.
But it is also way different from what most of you will build, so hopefully that evens the playing field a little bit for you guys.
So it's not...
So it's like Disney Robin Hood.
Yes.
Disney Robin Hood back in the day.
So Zootopia, the characters in Zootopia are actual animals that are walking around like humans.
Okay, I'm picking up.
So it's not an animal costume.
No.
It is an actual...
Fabuland.
Animal character.
Fabuland. Another purpose. You can actually, technically you could use a Fabuland figure. That's kind of cheating. But I want to see some minifigure parts using an animal character.
So do we have a certain background that, or like, it's
whatever
just the sky's the limit? That's the only
thing.
thing.
It's a creature that looks like a person.
That's the only thing I'm asking for you guys. It should look cool. Should have some sort of compelling story. It could be dramatic fantasy, or it could be like more like Fabuland. Like they're just farming, having a good time. Like Zootopia was pretty grounded, and it's like an animal city. You know, the sky's the limit as far as theme, but you just got to have that animal minifigure person in there. So.
And as in Zootopia, the animals should be clothed.
Yes.
Not naked.
No, we'll roll with that.
No naked animals.
Exactly. Well, all the Fabuland characters are a great example of what you should be looking for. So yeah.
Okay.
So and then a little scene, a little story, and let's see what you guys do. I'm excited.
They were.
Okay.
Some of them weren't.
But how do you guys feel about that theme? What do you think, Steven?
I think it's exciting. It's out of the box. It's definitely interesting. You got to make
it's very
character.
Different.
I'm curious what sort of time period we're looking at here.
Could be medieval, could be modern, could be
literally whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right,
Ooh,
cool. Thanks, brah.
I have ideas now, too. I might have to slip in a 4th entry here.
You can have an honorable mention.
Here, you build and I'll use it as mine.
There you go. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Right?
I've beaten him plenty times before, so that won't help you.
But here's the thing. Mark said that we're having to bring you down to a smaller build because sometimes you like to build big. So.
Actually, it's the other way around.
He's the one
I prefer to
Oh,
build
I
small.
thought it was him.
Well, so if I said this was 32 by 32, Steven would probably dominate you guys. But because it's a vignette, it'll hopefully be anybody can do a cool scene, and everyone has a good chance.
And you said it's a 16 by 16.
Yep.
No more
less than 16 by 16.
Less
that or less. So
and
no
then there's
bigger.
And then is there a height?
Let's try and keep it under a foot.
Yeah, I mean, just don't be crazy with it. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It should be pretty simple.
And one figure.
One figure.
Okay.
One scene.
And
one
a good
story.
storyline.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you think, Joe? How are you going to face this?
That's different, definitely. Like, I was not expecting that. I was expecting, like, a theme, and it's like, it is a theme, but it's just very unique.
It's much more wide open, and it's very difficult, I would say.
It is.
So you guys might have some trouble.
This is going to be challenging.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yeah, what about you, Angie? How you feeling?
I am going to channel my inner Zootopia Disney.
There you go.
And it's going to be, yes, it's
with Gazelle.
Yes. Shakira. It's going to be something
Like that.
Yes, like that. That no one will think to do.
There you go. All right. Well,
goal.
thank you guys for joining us. We'll see what your creative pursuits create for this awesome challenge. We'll see you guys then.
In 5 seconds.
Toodles.
3 hours later. Alrighty, all 3 of our minifigure battlers have completed their amazing scenes and figures and are ready to present them to the audience. Now, how did you guys feel working on these? This is actually a pretty difficult challenge, okay?
It's not easy.
I realized after I said it how weird and hard this is going to be. So let's start with Joe. How did you feel going into this challenge?
I felt like I had to make it interesting. Mm-hmm. So I did.
You had to go even weirder.
The first part I found was Smaug's head. I was like, I bet I can fit this on a minifigure's body somehow. And I found a pin connector that fits perfectly.
Yeah.
And I did ask before. I said, hey, is this legal?
It was a little questionable.
It was a little questionable, but it was approved.
I think so.
So it is legal, and it's on a minifigure's body.
It is.
It was hard. I'm not joking when I say this, that I lost sleep over it.
Oh,
because I just could not wrap my brain around what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. This was like the 9th inning last out that I did. Yeah. Because I worked on it all week, and the thing I worked on, I never could get it to do what I wanted. Wow. So this was like the last. I changed it.
Like the opposite of what I did. Yeah. I had 30 minutes left to build this, and I threw it together.
Yeah.
You did his like in the first 30 minutes.
No. It wasn't nearly that fast.
3 hours?
It took me a few hours right after you said the prompt. I'm like, well, I'll just get started. So I did it. So this was pretty not that difficult.
Day.
Yeah, first day. Not too difficult. One of my absolute favorite movies is Robin Hood, Disney, with the fox and the bear and the wolf.
That's a good one.
That was a lot of inspiration for the challenge.
Animals that are walking around like people.
Yeah. It's a classic cartoon thing.
Yeah.
This was like, ooh, I love it. So I started maybe a shark guy. I'm like a shark man. But it's like, nah, this guy's kind of like the rooster from that movie. Mm-hmm. So I definitely use that as inspiration. But it wasn't that bad. I don't know what everyone over here is worried about.
You
Not to brag, but...
No, but you make lots of cutesy animal type things anyway. Like, that's in your head. That's like a thing for you.
It's my favorite
it was not
thing.
for me.
Let's just say it's a favorite.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I worked. I pushed through, but it was hard.
Yep. Oh, wow. So, who wants to present their build
I think
officially
this guy should go first.
I think, let's start with the elephant in the room, or the giant dragon head.
The bobblehead of the room.
So, Joe, what's the name and what's the story? And, like, you already described the Smaug head. Yes. Smaug head. I always pronounce it wrong. But let us know more detail about your build.
This is Lord Smorgasbord.
Great name.
He is quite legendary.
You don't say.
This is the mountain peak of a volcano mountain. So it's not quite a volcano, but there's lava flowing inside it.
Geysers
erupted and stuff. Yeah. So that's why you see it leaking out everywhere.
And it's erupting out of his mouth.
And well, that's fire.
Oh, okay.
Angie, that's not lava. Anyway, Lord Smorgasbord has difficult family issues. His mom was a dragon. His dad was a dude. So it was weird. But he might have eaten his dad when he was younger.
Oh.
And it was an accident. He thought he was somebody else, and he ate his dad. So what happened was he went on a rampage and realized that he was evil at heart because of his dragon mother, who was an evil queen ruler. So he ate her too. And Lord Smorgasbord, he mixes up what he eats.
Yeah, no.
That's like a good buffet. That's a good buffet.
Joe, this is horrible.
He has just conquered the entire world, and he is erupting with the power of joy, dark joy. But he's just evil. So fired up. As he just spews forth fire from his mouth, erupting and showing the world that he is the ruler.
Wow, that's great,
The
Joe.
great Lord Smorgasbord.
Amazing, very colorful and vivid.
I definitely didn't just make that entire story up as we spoke.
What figures did you use? What figure arts?
So Smaug the dragon's head. Pull him off his stand here. This cape.
Does he stand up without the stand?
If you do this,
you have to keep it pretty high up.
Straight up.
Yeah, he does stand up. Yeah, that's a figure.
Yeah. So this is the cape from one of the CMFs, the Evil Wizard. I don't remember which series. This is also a CMF part right here.
I think that's series 13.
Yeah, the wing guy,
whatever that guy is.
character.
This is a Technic connector right here. That's the dark red.
His neck.
Which it only came in like 2 sets, so I was surprised I found that.
There you go.
Or maybe 1 set, actually. Yes, it was 1. It was the rare. Jedi Duel, the one with the yellow Count Dooku. Yoda, that little one. Yeah. That's the only set it came in.
That's an expensive figure all of a sudden.
So, yeah, and then that head alone.
That's true.
This piece, I'm not sure exactly who that came
Also
on.
the Dark Wizard.
I think it was the same guy as that. And then this is the Monkey King CMF. I use a lot of CMF parts.
They're good.
They're kind of the great parts. This is the Monkey King torso.
Yeah.
So this is just a Ninjago sword, and that's also a different Ninjago sword.
For sure.
Fire swords, he's kind of into that.
And a nice volcano to stand on, too.
Yeah, this I threw together really quickly. As I was working customer service alone. Just saying.
As you were super busy,
Poor Joe.
I did not have much time to do this.
I was busy all week too, and I just did mine at home.
I was off the clock. I just did it just because I
didn't
wanted
even
to.
have time at home.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So who wants to go next?
Who wants to go last? Is the question.
Oof. That's
Don't mind.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
You can go ladies first. You can go next.
Angie, what do we got here? What's your story here?
Okay, this is Tony.
Tony.
But let me preface all of this because this is what's so funny to me. So all week, I even told you, I was going to do a cold-hearted snake. I had this whole thing. It was going to be going back into my winter village when I got done. It was going to be a whole thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
But I could never figure out her storyline and how to get it. And then the snake head didn't work on what I wanted. So I was still struggling with that when I left to go home Thursday. But Joe said he was nervous about what mine was going to be. So on the way out, I thought, well, I'm just gonna tease him a little bit. So I said, it's on like Donkey Kong. And he goes, are you building a gorilla? I'm like, no. And I really wasn't.
Yeah, she wasn't, which is hilarious.
So I get home, and I'm working, and I cannot seem to get the storyline right or what I want to do. And I all of a sudden thought about what I said to Joe, what he said, and I thought it would be funny if there was a gorilla that liked to play Donkey Kong.
Yep.
So then I created this story. This is Tony, and Tony is a 35-year-old gorilla who still lives at home.
Oh, that's
and all he can do is play video games. And his mom is like, you have to get out of the house.
Absolutely.
You have to.
It's a classic story.
Yeah, it's a classic story based on maybe real life.
Tony.
So what I built was, this is his cabana that he lives in off the side of the house from his mom. And he wears a gold chain because in real life he wants everybody to think that he's pretty tough. But what I built was a cabana. Let me remove the tree so you guys can see in the back. And it's a complete and utter jungle game room is what he has.
That is cool.
There's an air hockey here. There's a banana bar. There's an arcade game, which is Donkey Kong, by the way. So he plays Donkey Kong a lot. So the way I had him in here was that he's in here with his banana. And he's
eating his banana, playing video games. Yep.
Off the bar.
Got a boombox up here.
He's got the boombox listening to the 80s tunes. Because I grew up playing Donkey Kong, so I can't help it. But so that's Tony, and he just is stuck, and he can't get out of it, and he loves his games.
He might be addicted to video games a little bit.
I believe he might be.
Yeah.
And since we can only do one figure, that's him. But you can imagine that his mom or whatever, parents in the background going, get out of the cabana and go get a job. So.
Poor Tony. Poor Tony.
He even has the party lights.
Yep.
So I made the tree disconnectable so that you could still see in the back pretty good. And the cabana roof pops up a little bit too. So that's Tony. And the parts I used for Tony was, of course, the Chima gorilla head. And then I used a CMF arcade of the video game guy, his shirt.
Yep.
The legs are also Chima because he has to look like a gorilla. So those are his gorilla feet. I think it's a different gorilla feet than the head, but yeah. And then the gold chain is what the gold chain is.
Yep, and he's got his banana. There you go.
Yes, so this is Tony.
Very nice, Angie. A very original story again. I think this is maybe a little bit more in line with what I was thinking because it's all minifigure scale. The dragon head is very different. It's a different thing. This is a more traditional approach, but a very unique story. A fun story, relatable story for many people. And I love it.
It's even happening in the jungle, guys. They can't. The moms are just, get out of my house, but they won't.
And it's a great build, too. This is definitely the most pieces used and the most volume build here, for sure. It looks great.
Thanks.
So, awesome work, Angie. All right, Steven, over at the end of the table, let's round us
real
up.
quick. We didn't do critiques on either.
Let's open that up at the end. Let's do it all together at the end.
Let them say their piece first.
In translation, he wants to speak smack.
Yeah,
exactly.
But first, we're going to go with the my turn. So, This is the Red-Headed Ranger. So I was, obviously it's on brand with me. I do a lot of forested stuff, and he's got a lot of inspiration from the Robin Hood, especially that rooster. For parts, I was pretty excited about the parts. So the cape, I'll start with that. That's my favorite. So I have Batman's cape, and I believe it's General Grievous's cape on this side. Oh, whose is it?
This one right here?
The striped one, yeah.
This is Madame Hooch from
that's
Harry
the one.
Potter.
Gotcha. So I've got Madame Hooch's cape, which has stripes, which sort of represent the wings of the character. I tried to use wings, like the Chima wings, and it looked awful. I'm like, no, this is not going to work. So to break up the black monotony, he's got a little, like a scarf almost, like some sort of vine. He's wearing a little bit of greenery there. The arms are from Harry Potter. There's a series minifig, I forget his name, but he's wearing this tuxedo thing going on. And I have the white stripes going on his arms to add more detail with the whole woodpecker theme. And the hands are red. They're kind of like the wingtips, sort of. Maybe hands.
Yeah, kind of feathered.
Yeah, it's a little ambiguous. You kind of make it up as you go. The head I'm the most proud of because I did not want to use Chima. But I saw this. I'm like, fine. You win, Chima. You win the battle. So I grabbed this thing. It looked really cool. It's a funny looking mold, and it's one you don't really notice in Chima. You see the lions and the wolves and stuff, but you don't really see the birds.
Flint.
So I grabbed this guy and I put a classic minifig skull on the back.
Yeah. I was going to ask what figure it is, but it looks good. His eyes in there.
And it has a slightly more cartoonish look, like a little more characteristic. The other eyes from the Chima characters are kind of like freakish a little bit. Some of them are like they're looking in two different directions at once. It's a little weird. So I used that, and I got a brown axe, and I used the I don't know who has this neck piece. But
Ninjago, maybe?
Probably Ninjago. And Ninjago?
The armor piece?
The armor, something like that?
No, it's not
Monkey
Ninjago.
Kid?
It might be Monkey Kid.
Something like that. It's one of those. And I used the Ranger torso and legs. I wanted to use something a little nicer, but this is the best I could come up with. And yeah, he's on this stump. And his little bit of backstory, I don't want to go too long, but a little bit of backstory. His clan, his tribe is always at war with the squirrels, who are always trying to grab their eggs, kind of like an Angry Birds theme going on there. But his job is to patrol their territory and make sure that there's no problem there. They're on good terms with the Blue Jays and stuff like that, but the squirrels and chipmunks they're always bickering with a bit, so that's why he's armed and ready. So with that timber axe and feather.
Smart.
So yeah, I think that covers everything. He's standing on a stump. He's trying to figure out who did this, because this is a new thing. Is it man? Is it a beaver? What happened here?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's always trying to figure out what's going on. So he's got an adventurous life. I don't have an exact name for this specific guy. Just Redhead Ranger. So
nice.
There you go. Very
His
good.
head reminds me of a Fabulan a little bit with the beak.
a little bit of Fabulan going on. Maybe he's from the same universe.
Yeah, maybe.
But now that you've had a chance to describe all of your builds, let's go and give a chance to give your thoughts to the other builds on the table. So let's start again with Joe, since you were very eager to share your thoughts.
Tell me a bit.
So what are your thoughts on Angie and Steven's build, really quick?
I really like Angie's build. I think it's really cool. It's a great build, and her figure's fun. But it is a minifigure challenge, and that takes a lot away from the minifigure. It's a really cool build, but it looks more like a mock challenge, So it does fit within the size. It's just there's a lot there that, especially if you take the minifigure and put him where he's supposed to be, that you don't exactly go, oh, look, that's a cool minifigure. So overall, it looks great. For a minifigure challenge, it's a lot going on.
Well, this is why it was harder for me, because I wanted to add capes and hair things, but these don't allow for that.
Not much. No.
So I couldn't do a lot of,
Yeah.
On the flip side, though.
It does look great.
But on the flip side, look who made his mountain here. He didn't even go 16 by 16,
No.
did you?
And that's why, because it's a minifigure challenge.
True.
And
let's talk about that, shall we?
Let me critique yours first. Let me finish.
Go right ahead. Let's see what you have to say, sir.
I really like yours. I think the figure itself with the 3 capes it's a good usage.
3, yeah.
Kind of got 3.
So you got the feather pattern on the back.
The only critique I guess I have is for a Lego Master. I was surprised you just used a plain base plate and didn't.
Yeah, you got me there.
It's kind of edgy,
Yeah, it got me there. It's a little square.
It could have been better
little
as far as that goes. Yeah. So I think both of y'all's look great. I have to share at least a critique. So for his,
Steven,
the base plates, yours is just got.
You might want to watch that landscaping video.
Yeah, I did. I saw those. I'm like, oh, I forgot something. But
go ahead.
Let's talk about your bobblehead over here. You know that there are are a lot of cool dragon elements
Yeah.
available, right? That are minifig scale. Like, they're really cool.
Yeah.
And you went with the biggest one you could find.
And the reason is, I saw the head and I go, you know what? Screw it.
I just hope it's not a one-trick pony. That's the only thing.
It's just something I wanted it to be so different from anything else.
It is, but
Exactly.
I'm just worried it's a bit of a one-trick pony. That's all. But I have to agree with Joe. There is a lot of model. I think your character is good, but he gets lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so good thoughts, Steve. What about you, Angie? What do you want to say about these two other builds here? Yeah.
I was gonna be nice. Honestly,
No. Have fun with it.
my critique on this one is he asked if he could use it. He did, but I said it needed to fit onto the torso without any help, and so he did not do that. He used the Technic piece to.
There is a piece in between the head
There is
and
an
the
extra
body.
bit.
So
It's
that
not
in
armor,
general,
it's not
that did
decoration.
not. If I had known he was gonna do that, I would have said no.
Oh.
That would have been my. That's the build itself is good, but my critique is that you only spent 30 minutes on it and did a last minute story, and you didn't take the time to be serious about it. That would be my critique about it. Even I worked on mine at home because I work all day here too, and I honestly don't have anything negative to say about Stevens. I think the character is super cute, and I don't care that he used a 16 by 16. I think he did exactly what I thought he would do. In that it would be a farce thing, because he always does.
That was not surprising.
I didn't really break the mold, did I?
No, but it was super cute. He does cutesy farce things all the time, so I honestly did think that was. So if you had done like an underwater shark or something, I would have been like, wow.
The problem was there was so many underwater stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
had a whole thing.
this hits home for me better because in Florida there's a lot of pileated woodpeckers, and if you see them, it's actually quite a sight. They're kind of rare.
We had one in our backyard when I lived in Florida.
There you go. There's one in our neighborhood, and there's one in our neighborhood here too. They're not crazy rare, but I love seeing them, and they're always like, "Oh, there's one," and it's like a shooting star for me. It's like,
So my critique isn't negative. It's just I think it's cute. It was expected. I honestly had no clue what it would be, but I thought it would be a farce thing. But obviously, and I do say yes, my build is a lot. I understand that, but I guess I needed a place for him to actually play games, and I can't do anything halfway, so that's what I did this. So yes, my figure's not elaborate, but that's because I didn't know what to do with him. Like, capes don't look good, and I can't do any head things, and that's where I got stuck with the snake one too. So.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a hard one.
It was hard.
But yeah, I think you guys have thoroughly, discussed how all these figures have strengths and weaknesses, maybe. But you guys all did a fantastic job for the prompt, which is very challenging, I will say again. So I'm thinking the audience, when they leave their comments to let us know which one they like best, should take all these things into account, and we'll see who wins. It should be very exciting. Thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to work on these figures.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. And so does the audience. They love seeing these. So thank you guys for watching and enjoying this content of us describing the figures. And don't forget to leave a vote in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. That always helps out the channel. And subscribe, because we got so many more live streams and videos coming out soon.
Yes.
And featuring all these wonderful people. A lot of LEGO Masters content to look forward to. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you.